everybody, if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back to another one of my videos. It's collabs, back to back, you guys. Who am I? I'm planned, that's it. I'm really noticing right now how much my hair has grown. I don't normally let it get this long because I have the thickest goddamn hair. This hair took like 3 hours to dry, I swear. But like, look at this. It's like a fucking lion's mane right now. Anyway, welcome to today's video. This is a collab with Miche from Oh It's Miche. I'm very, very excited for today's video. Honestly, I'm not the hugest collab person, but having two collabs with two awesome booktubers back to back, I'm very happy and I'm feeling very honored. Anyway, today is a dark romance recommendation video, and who better to do it with than Miche. Normally, I come up with a video idea when I notice like a trope in my list of trope recommendations on my phone is getting super long, and I was like, dark romances, we should do it. And like in that last video, when I think of a trope and a creator pops into my mind, I'm like, I need to ask them. Miche actually asked me if I wanted to do another trope video with her, and I was like, I don't have enough for that one, so I brought up this one, and she said yes, and so here we are. I think you guys are gonna get some awesome recommendations from the both of us, because Miche is actually where I go for most of my dark romance recommendations if I'm looking for some on booktube. So yeah, I'm very happy to be bringing this video to you guys today along with her. She's amazing. She reads some awesome books too, so I'm very excited to check out her video. That'll be linked down in the description along with her channel. Make sure you check them out. And yeah, thanks again to Miche for doing this video with me. Let's get into the recommendations now. Guys, I got some good ass ones. So first up, we're gonna start with Skeletons of Society by Marie Maravilla, I believe her name is. I actually have this in paperback, but with my wrist like this, I cannot hold it up for the amount of time it's gonna take me to explain it. So I'm gonna put it on the screen here. This is a cartel and MC romance. So the heroine is a cartel leader, kind of. She is the epitome of a badass heroine. She runs that area for the cartel. She runs all the arms dealings, and yeah, she's a badass, okay? And so when this new MC club comes into town and they're wanting to set up an arms dealing partnership, she goes there, and because her name is Ryan, R-Y-E-N, I think it was, the hero in this one is expecting her to be a guy, right? And he's like, what the fuck? And honestly, he doesn't like it at first. He's like, female arms dealer is better at this shit than me? I don't think so. Honestly, it wasn't that she was better at it. She was so like good at what she does, but also like she didn't give a fuck about him, and that pissed him off. It was so funny. So it's a bit of an enemies to lovers kind of thing. They have so much chemistry and so much tension, but she's like not giving a fuck about it. And he's just like, that's really hot. And instantly, as soon as they like go even anywhere towards a relationship, he's like obsessed with her, worshiping her all the time. And what I really love about this book is that he's possessive and protective and touch her and I kill you, but he understands that she can also handle her own shit. So like they're at a club scoping some shit out for business, and some guy comes up to her and like I think tries to dance with her or like something, and then she kind of like goes after him first, and then the hero comes after her and is like, you touch her again, you'll have more than a fucking broken hand. And yeah, like, doesn't that sound amazing? A hero who's obsessed with her, possessive and protective, but also can let her handle her own shit. And the heroine in this one too, she handles her own shit. She's a badass. She's not cringy or cliche. I like to call those the like 3 C's: cringy, cliche, and clingy. She's none of those. She's amazing. I love her. I love this book. And like a cartel and an MC romance, doesn't that sound amazing? This seriously was touch of enemies to lovers, very steamy, very spicy. A like bad boy, bad girl kind of thing. A hero who's obsessed with her, touch her and I kill you. Dark romance, so good. Definitely think you should check it out. It's not too dark on the darkness scale, but like it's mafia and MC. You're gonna have some shit. So yeah, definitely give this one a shot. Like guys, I'm gushing over this book so much because I had such a fun time reading it. Next up is an Emma Jones book, because what would this list be without an Emma Jones book? But this is one that I rarely ever talk about. It's right here. That is Manic by Emma Jones. I never talk about this book, like ever. I think I've only recommended this book once, and that was her Rockstar recommendation video. Like, who am I? This book is so good. Honestly, I think I've just ran out of other Emma Jones recommendations, so here the fuck we are. So yeah, it is a Rockstar romance. It is also a mafia romance. He is in the Bratva, which is the Russian mafia, Russian mob, I guess, and he is cutthroat. He's the son of a Bratva leader who I think is called the Pakan. He also tours the world though, and because he is a rapper rapper. How hot is that? He's in the mafia and he's a rapper? Yes. Anyway, Manic, or Aaron, I guess you would also call him. That's his like given name, but Manic is his stage name. I'll call him either one any day of the week. But yeah, the heroine in this one, her name is Beatrice. Everyone I think calls her B or Bia, and she is a dancer. So like just picture that. A rapper, a dancer, mafia, dark romance, hot as fuck. That's what you'll get in this one. It is so, so good. This one is a little bit darker because like Russian mafia, they tend to be a little bit more ruthless, cruel, give no mercy, give no fucks, you know, so a little bit darker, but oh guys, so, so good. I'm not gonna say too much about the plot itself because it's a typical Emma Jones book and there's so much going on and it's so good. And it's really confusing, but yeah, it's a typical Emma Jones book. What more can I say? Next up, we have a series. Actually, a few series. The first one is by Rena Kent. This is her, I'm gonna call it the God series. It starts off with God of Malice, then you have God of Pain, and most recently you have God of Wrath. I'm actually reading it as I film this video. This video is pre-filmed, so I read it about last week when you guys will see this, but oh my god, so, so good. I will gush about this series any day of the week. Honestly, I didn't really think that I would like this because it is a dark college romance series and it's kind of like mafia light. There is a bit of mafia in it, particularly God of Wrath because Jeremy is the son of a Russian mafia boss. And so yeah, we're gonna talk about the whole series as a whole. So basically it follows the second generation of Rena Kent's other books. So if you read the like Royal Elite series, then you would know that Xander and Kimberly's daughter, Cicely, I literally never know how to say that, is in God of Wrath, which is the third book in this series. So it's amazing. If you're a fan of Rena Kent, I'm pretty sure you've already heard of this, but if you've read any Rena Kent, honestly, you need to read the series because not only is it, in my opinion, much better than her other books, like I feel like she just leveled a fuck up with this series, it's also really, really good. And if you're a lover of her other books and you like see the children of those characters, you're gonna love it. So the premise of this whole series is obviously a college romance and it follows two colleges actually. There's like the British college and the American college, I think. I'm pretty sure they're like in the same town. But basically all the characters from her other books send their children there and it creates mayhem, honestly. But like Rena Kent is known for her anti-heroes, her dark romances, her touch her and I kill you heroes especially, and you get all of that in this series. So the first one, God of Malice, follows Killian and Glyn, that's her nickname, and it is a psychopath, stalker, hate to love, kind of like blackmail kind of thing, and oh my god, it is so good. These books are a bit thicker. I think they're like just over 400 pages, but you need that honestly because there's so much that goes on in here and it's so, so good. But anyway, that's the first one. The second one is a Grumpy Sunshine, also kind of hate to love, kind of like cold and ruthless, like closed off hero. And then the third one is a stalker romance, psychopath with a lot of primal kink. Obviously these are like dark romances. The heroes themselves are like dark romance heroes, so there's gonna be some steamy dark romance stuff go on, but the third one especially has huge primal kink in it. That is the series. There is 6 books total, 3 out. They can be read as standalones. Do I think you should do that? No. I really think you should give this a shot. If you're reluctant like I was, just do it. Honestly, they're so, so good. And I feel like they're not just for lovers of high school or college romances. They're like for dark romance lovers. Next series is actually just the first 2 books because those are the only ones I've read so far, and that is These Monstrous Ties by KV Rose. Also have this on my shelf, much like most of these books on here, but I can't hold them. So These Monstrous Ties by KV Rose, part of the Unsainted series, I believe it's called. So this one, anti-heroes galore in honestly this whole series, but we're going to talk about the first 2 books. They follow Lucifer and Lilith. So this is a perfect book to read for spooky season, honestly. I know that just finished, but like it is perfect for it. So yeah, Lilith is under the lock and key of her brother, whose name I believe is Jeremy. He's like ultra controlling, ultra possessive, ultra everything. And when she's finally like kind of free of him, she goes to this like Halloween party club thing, and that is where she meets Lucifer. And they have like this crazy night of like fucked up dark romance, secret society kind of shit. And then you fast forward to the present where they're meeting again and like unraveling everything. It's very confusing, and if you read this series, probably you should read them all together because after the first 2 books it follows the other characters in it, and honestly you should read them all together. I didn't do that because the series is like really intense. There's so much you need to be picking up on, and I just didn't have the space for that when I finished the second book, so I do plan on picking this one back up. I can only recommend the first 2 books, but the rest sound awesome as well. Definitely a must-read dark romance. Honestly, KV Rose is a must-read dark romance author too. Okay, we're going kind of quick here, but my next recommendation is No Saint by Rhea Wilde. Honestly, I just need to give a special shout out to my friend Kiana on Instagram. Her username is Kiana Loves to Read with underscores each word, because she has inspired this whole fucking video, honestly. She recommended No Saint and the Gods series by Rena Kent to me, and then she inspired me to make this video based off of those 2 books. Yeah, special shout out to her, because she just be reading back-to-back bangers, and then she writes a good review about them, and I'm like, oh god, I have to read them now. So then I read them and I recommend them to you guys. She's basically my plug, honestly. So anyway, No Saint by Rhea Wilde is another mafia romance. Honestly, should I have just made a mafia recommendation video? Probably. But not all of these are mafia romances. The other 2 are secret society romances. Sorry, but not at the same time, because they're still dark romances. And if you don't like mafia, well, maybe read the other 2 that aren't mafia. Anyway, this is a really dark enemies to lovers one. So it is also a kind of forced bride kind of thing, forced marriage. The hero's brother just died, and he's known for a while that his brother had a kid, but he's like, wow, these people killed my fucking brother, they're gonna go after his child, and that is the heir to this mafia shit. So he goes and kidnaps his nephew and his mom and ends up forcing her to marry him so that they can be safe and so his nephew doesn't get hurt, basically. But Gabriel's plan was to kidnap his nephew, kidnap the mom, and then kill the mom. But he ends up falling for her. She's no pushover herself. She is very strong. She's been through a lot, and she's obviously a single mother, so she has a lot to deal with, but she is very strong, and she pushes against him, and it's very fiery. It's a bit of a slow burn, actually, and I mean, I wasn't complaining, because their tension and that enemies to lovers hate and, let's be honest, chemistry is off the page in this one, and I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a dark romance. I think there's a slight dubcon, and there's like forced marriage and all that. A great book though. I really enjoyed it. It is a little slower towards the end, I'll say that, but definitely give it a shot. 4-star solid ass read from me. Definitely recommend it for a dark romance. Okay, our last one is one that I actually talked about in my last video, and that is The Devil Tainted Us by Shanjita Ali. I had to give this a back-to-back shout out, okay? It is so good, and it's a perfect dark romance. It is a creepy gothic kind of romance, an age gap romance. Age gap is 18 years, and a dark romance. It's also a tad bit of a historical romance. It's based in the 1960s, I think, and it's so good. So basically, the heroine in this one, Agatha, her sister dies, and her sister's fiance ends up sending Agatha to an insane asylum, basically. A rehabilitation center, a mental hospital, whatever you want to call it, and they are not a good place to be. Let's just say that. They're into some dark romance shit that comes in a dark romance book. So yeah, she is in a very fragile mental state. She has hallucinations, among other things, and the hero in this one kind of just sees that she needs to be protected, and for some reason feels compelled to protect her. And he's like against the father of the insane asylum because it's religious, and he's like, don't touch her, don't do that. And he's like, why do you care? And he's like, I don't know, but he like still defends her, you know? And he protects her and helps her, but it's just a fucked up situation. And it's a dark romance. There's not much more I can say to that. There's some confusing bits in here, but like I said, dark romance. Like, what were you expecting? So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's like a forbidden romance too. Doctor-patient kind of thing. Even though she wasn't really his patient, she was like just a patient of the hospital. But yeah, must read dark romance, honestly. So good. Perfect for spooky season, because like I said in my last video, a lot of these recommendations are getting carried over from spooky season, but you know, you can just like read them in the November misty fog. All right, everybody, that is it for today's dark romance recommendation video. I hope you found some new dark romances. Most of these I haven't really talked about before, so I'm glad to give you guys some fresh ones. Again, thank you so much to Miche for doing this video with me. She is so kind, so awesome, and I'm very glad we got to do this together. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stick around. Hope you're having an awesome November reading month, and I'll see you guys in my next video very soon.